Hello again. So now we're going to tackle these pots. I was going to do them last night after I finished the ones you saw in the previous video. I was going to come back out that evening and then do these pots, but then I got busy and I never got around to it. So it's the next morning. It's really windy. And it's about 58 degrees. It's early. It's a little after 8. But the sun is starting to come up over the trees, so it's going to get bright, but I need to get this done. So the first thing I got to do is keep the dogs out of here. They want to come in here and eat the stuff off the ground. Whoops. Can't lean on this chair, it'll tip over. So the first thing I need to do is take everything out of this pot. And we'll do this one first. And I just need to set the plants out of the way. So this rock, I set this rock in here the last time I redid this pot because these fret ives here, you see all these fret ives, they're really heavy and they just wanted to fall right out. And so I should be able to just lift this whole thing up, but I don't want to take all the soil. All right, got a bunch of little stuff in here and I can just put these as cuttings. I can just chop those stems. You can see how long these are. And just put them anywhere in any pot that I want to. I didn't bring a place to set the stuff here. So I'll pull all these little ones out first. No dogs, I don't need help. Those are all connected. There's a ton of little bitty plants down in here that were growing from pieces that just fell in there, little leaf pulling. So we'll hang on to all these little guys. There's 1, 2, 3. God, there's like 10 of them down in here. And they're just basically laying right on the top of the soil. And they fell out of something. Oh, got some more of this stuff in here. Let's get rid of that. A couple more of these. And I have a little. Is that a fret ives? Did that grow from a leaf? The little one, oops, right here that was peeking up. I'm gonna pull. So all this sansevieria, I might save it if it's still in decent shape. All these pieces have roots on them. Ow. I may just put these in a pot somewhere and see if I can't just let them grow. You can see how they have all good roots. Get those out of the way. And I'm kind of back into just the wrong position for my back here. So these donkey tails I want to be super careful with. I'm just going to lay them back here out of the way on I'm going to move this a little bit. I just put them right there and just set them there. And then I want to plant them in a pot so they're hanging over. But they're so fragile. You touch them and they just fall apart. I need to get... This aloe is going to be really rooty. Can I set you back down here? Can you still see? See now the sun is making everything really bright. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't really want to cut the stalk off of this sunburst, this aeonium sunburst, because this is the time of year that they kind of go dormant, depending on where you're at. And where we're at, they will really go dormant. And then you won't see any growth or start rooting until next year. Okay, where am I going to put this? I didn't really think this through, and I didn't bring a box or a table to set these plants on. Ouch. So I'm just kind of trying to find spots to set them. And I want to save as much of the soil out of this pot as possible, because I did find a bag, and it's about, I don't know, a third to a half full. So that'll be good. Okay, let's get this out. leaning over it just like this just kills my back. I'm not far enough down or high enough up. So this is good, this propeller plant. Look at this thing. Ooh. A lot of roots. God, look at how that sun just washes everything out. It looks so bright. It doesn't look bad in person, but I know how it looks on camera. All right, let me set you over here. Really what I should do is pull all the plants out of all the pots first. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to stop this here for a second and go get a table to put all these plants on. I'll be right back. Okay, so I brought my table over, got all the plants that I pulled out moved over there. Everything out of the way. So now I can finish getting these out of here. Keeping that soil. Look at all the dead roots in there. I don't know if you can see that behind there, but I'll show you in a second. And I'll have lots of good, decent-sized plants to put back in. All right, so what I want to do here is try and get this out without taking all of the soil. And it was coming out in one big clump, but I want to take all this off the roots so that when I plant it back, it might be easier. So just kind of break this up and leave as much soil in here as I possibly can. But I think once I go through and pull all those old roots out, so yeah, this came out and you can see one big stand. And these stalks are really strong on these Fred Ives. So, you know, spider webs under here. Those out of there. Okay. Now we just have the sunburst. And it should come out really easy now. There we go. So we can leave this like this. I don't know, that one is, God, so pretty. And it's put off quite a few pups. I snitched one off the bottom there the other day to put in one of the other things I did. I forget where. You know what? I think, where did I put it? Oh. Lay that there. It's funny. Yeah, I put it right here in this bowl. And I did pull the shades off of here today because it's only supposed to hit 79, 80 degrees. And with the breeze, it's nice and cool, so I'll let them get a little sun. And we've got a few days. Yeah, look at this one. Already fallen over. We've got a few days of, I'll fix those later, of nice cool weather. And then it's going to go back up into the mid and upper 90s. So now what I want to do in here is just, another tiny little plantlet. That grew off of a leaf. Just get as much of the weed out of here, or the roots out of here that, break off. And there's another plant. These are growing around. This might be roots from that aloe, because they will grow all the way around a pot. All this is most likely from that Sansevieria. So I'm just going to shake, can you see in here? I'm just going to shake some of the dirt out of it. That was a nice, look at the size of that root. A nice big root. So I'm assuming the Sansevieria had a huge root ball when I planted it. It was in a big pot and I did not pull it apart. I just planted roots and all. And then it died, and I don't know, well, it just did not thrive here. And, it's not real wet in here. I don't overwater this pot, but I don't know, maybe it just was keeping water, and because the spot where it's at should have been perfectly conducive to that plant, because they will grow really well inside. They don't need a lot of bright light. A lot of people grow them in their houses, and this gets a lot of shade in the afternoon, just nice morning sun. But in a couple of hours, the direction the sun goes, this pot here, I think, is one of the first ones to get pretty much full shade all afternoon. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if I'll try. I love the look of how tall that plant was. And all this fiberglass in here still, because I had it originally top dressed with fiberglass. I like how tall that plant is. It looks really nice. And I think, is that the second one I got, or was that just the first one? But it was expensive. I paid like $40 for that plant. I bought it down in at Waterwise Botanicals, because for the size of it, the ones up here at that size would be like $80. Are so expensive. I don't know why, because it's such a common plant. I mean, you can find them at Home Depot. They have a ton of them, in all different varieties. The little small ones, the great big ones. All right, I think the rest of that's fine. Oh, I gotta stand up straight for a minute. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so this pot is going to get the three attenuatas. And I think they're going to do really good there. And then in the wintertime, I can just cover them in the patio. They'll be somewhat protected. And another neighbor. It'll be somewhat protected, and I can cover it to keep the rain out of it so it doesn't get too much water. I love this pot though. It would look amazing if I planted flowers in it and just let them spill over the side like petunias and stuff. They love to just kind of hang over, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the plants for this. Okay, so I can't remember exactly when I cut these and replanted them. I know it's been at least a week, possibly two, and I don't remember if these two roots were already on here, but they look like new roots. And then it's got all these little nubs, and this one I remember was on there. Where are you? There you are. But look how much it's grown. And so it's got some more starting here, another little tiny root under here. So when I plant this, I'm not just going to stick it straight down like I would a cutting, because I don't want to snap these roots off. So I'm going to dig somewhat big of a hole, set it in there, and then push the dirt around it and hopefully save that. And then the two little ones, I don't see any new roots growing, but they were hanging on because they already had a few roots. So, but I think it's gonna turn out really well. It's gonna look and be happy. So let me grab my bag of soil, dump some more soil in there. Ugh. Try not to kick you over. Yeah, this is probably half. Bag's probably still half full. See if there's any frogs in there. It's pretty dry. Whoops. It's pretty dry, which is good. Because when you're disturbing your plants like this, you really don't want to, introduce water to them until they've had a chance to heal up. Okay, so I want to put the big one almost centered, just a little towards the back. The only problem with the dry dirt is it does not want to pack, when you're trying to make a little hole here, it just keeps falling in. See if I can. Okay, I think that will be good because it's got a pretty short stem. And now I need to just decide which side looks the best. Get all these spider webs out of it. I think, so it's got all these ratty little leaves on the side, from where I cut those off, but the center growth looks just amazing. It's perfect. I think this way. So I just want to set it right about here. Start filling that in. just gently let go. And try not to push down on the plant. So that's good. I think that's good. This will probably settle a little bit into here, but that's okay because I can always just add more top dressing to lift it up. But yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to put the two little ones. Pardon my noisy cars up and down the road. So loud out here. Okay, you know what, hold on one second. I'm going to just trim off with my scissors some of this. I've got some just, you know, kind of ratty looking little leaves here. Let's trim the ends off because they're probably just going to come off anyway. Clean that up a little bit. There's one. You probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just trimming off this old stuff. Ow! I just trimmed my finger. That one can stay. Okay, oops, let's get that and that and that. Oh. Alright, so there we go. That looks better. It's pretty bright, but that's okay. So I'm going to plant these in the front right here. And I did water these two good this morning. I don't know if they really had enough time to soak up too much water, but they did get a little bit of a drink. So hopefully that will sustain them because I'm not going to water this for a while. But I'm going to put that there. And then I'm just going to put some top dressing around that. Yeah, I like that. And it'll be a while before I have to move them. You know, and chances are, all I'm really going to have to do is take the two smaller ones out and then just recenter the bigger one as it starts to grow. Because that's a pretty big pot. It's like, I think it's at least 1.5 feet across on the inside. And then it's got, you know, it's 2.5 feet tall. It can support a long section of roots. Okay, so there's that one. And now, should I put the top dressing on that right now and be done with it? Yeah, I think I will. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did go ahead and just use, you know, my Cali Gold, the ground top dressing, but that looks better. So that'll keep the plants right off the soil when I do water the, what do you call them, fungus gnats out of there, whatever. And if it starts to settle a little bit, I can just add more of that. So I went ahead and did that first because what I want to do is kind of clean up around here a little bit, and then I can move this pot back over here, which is where I'm going to be keeping it. But I moved it the other day, I think so I could get in there to fertilize my red dragon. Isn't that beautiful? Whew. I love it. It's the lace leaf. So pretty. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, so I got all this cleaned up around the back, so now I can just work in the front and I won't have to worry about moving to get behind them to clean because it's all cleaned. So here I'm going to pull a few more plants out of here, or I'm debating on just cutting. So here's what we got going on. We got all this stuff growing up in here. Should I cut it out? You know what, I think I will. Because I thought, you know, it still looks good at the top, but it's so leggy. So let's just, it comes right here, I think. Yeah, let's pull it right out of here. I don't want to pull the bracteatus out, though. I'm trying to be careful. But this stuff has roots growing, like, everywhere. I can feel it. Here's another piece still rooted in there. I kind of just want to be able to just go straight up with it. Ugh, Let go. Where is this? What's this holding on to? Is it wound around here? Oh, it is. Okay, there's a lot of it. Oh, there's a whole nother piece. So here's what, that's what it looks like. It's just, you know, ratty looking. Now I saw on the back of this pot what looks like hair just hanging down the back, air roots, and I thought it was from this bracteatus, but it's not. It's from this stuff, which I forget what it is. It looks like maybe a crassula, but I'll Google it and put it on the screen. And there was a lot of it. Look at this one piece. This was stuck under the table. I don't know if you can see that high. This one here was stuck under the table, and so it grew down upside down like that. That's all right though. It'll be okay. Okay, so let's see if we can get the rest of this stuff. I've scratched a couple of this bracteatus, and it has, this isn't bracteatus, this is macrocarpus, but it has, see that milky sap on this one right here? See that? That can be really irritating. It doesn't seem to bother me, but I guess to a lot of people it does. So I scratched this in a few places, and I can see that it's weeping. So I will be really careful not to touch my face now that I have a lot of that on there. What is this? That little dead plant? Some more of this. Let's pull this out. Lots of weeds. Get out of there. And the weeds have, God, just, I mean, if you think about it, it's, some of this stuff is just amazing plants. You know, their survival. I don't want it in here, but it survives. Okay, that was an old flower bloom. Spud, get out. Go on. Shoot. Okay, I think, yeah, that actually got all of it off the back. Now I can pull this clump of weeds out of here, because this is really going to start growing as soon as I start watering in here again. I'll have to remember those weeds are in there so I can get a hold of them once they stick out enough. You can't see me, but I just picking a couple weeds out of this pototorum right next door here. All right, now we got to figure out what we want to put in there, and we have a lot of plants because I went shopping and I got some dead stuff in here. Can I get this out of here? Oh yeah, a couple pieces that just didn't make it. Oops, that one's still alive. Don't pull it. Okay, that looks better. Now let's see what we want to put back in there. We want to go with some purple because there's so much green. So I'm thinking, everything got watered when the sprinklers came on this morning. These, these two, which will do really well over in here. I don't know why they sell stuff as just assorted, you know. They need to really tell you. These look like Pearl von Nürnberg's. I think that's what they are, but it's not labeled. What was I just looking for? Oh, I needed to get, I think, do I want to put more soil in here? I mean, it's quite a bit, maybe a little bit. What was that? Oh, part of an old tomentosa. All right, I think I'm gonna just add a cupful or two. I need to save most of this soil for that reddish brown pot behind me because it's already dropped down a couple of inches. So, but maybe if I just put like this much, it's buried. If I just put like that much in there. Okay. And I think I'm going to cut all this stuff and put them in as cuttings. Okay, I got my kneeling pad so I can get down a little closer. And I think I'm going to bring this whole tray. Whoa! And set them down over here so I don't have to keep going back and forth. All right, so can you see in there good? My pad was really squished. It's been on top of the refrigerator in the garage, and Dave just piles stuff on top of it. But it's still fluffy enough that it protects your kneecaps. Okay, so I'm going to cut down to here and get that out of the way. Clean off any dead leaves. And I'm just going to stick these kind of, is that in the soil? Yeah, it doesn't need a lot of soil. It just needs to be able to touch the soil. And these were so cheap just because they're really overgrown and should have been out of these pots a long time ago. But I guess they just didn't sell them. Which is good for me, because I'm just going to stick it like that. Now I think I want this big Lucier right in the middle, and I think I'll just leave its roots on since I'm only putting one right here. I'm going to stick this in here. So this is Kalanchoe Lucier, and yeah, fill that in. Okay, I want to put something under there. How about it's a little too green. Oh, you know what? How about I got two of these, and this is pretty small too. I think I can keep that root ball in there as well. I want to tuck it up under in here. It's got to get down deep. Get that out of the way. There we go. And so as these grow, they'll fill in. This will be really pretty. And then I don't have a spiller. Let's see, what else is back here? I got an agavoides. I got a big sempervivum, actually. This might be, does that look good there? Oh, I'm sitting on my feet. Tell you what, when you get older, you can't just, you know, stick yourself anywhere you want like you used to. Your joints don't appreciate it, I tell you. Okay. Can I get you in there? Yeah, I can. Yeah, put some soil back in there. Fill in that gap. You can come up. You can go under there. Okay. Stretch back. Let's see. Maybe I'll put this agavoides over on this side, but I'm going to cut it off because it's in a great big pot. And I don't want all that dirt in there, but I got to get to it. I don't want to cut it too short. Where's my bucket? I'm not even place to dump the soil, and I just swept all this up, so I don't want to just dump it on the ground. But, well, I'll try and shake most of that off into the pot. But this isn't a pretty decent sized nursery pot, so, whoa. Oops, I don't need that in there. If I can get it out, yeah, look at that. We definitely don't need all of that. So let's get all this out of there. It's mostly dirt. There's hardly any roots in here. So shake that back into its little container. Clean off some of the dead leaves around the bottom. Ooh, I love that sound when they crunch and they just pull right out so easily. You can't see what I'm doing because I'm kind of awkward here, but I'm gonna pull some of the roots off the bottom because they're really long. But in that big container, whoa, this is all I can't see the thing, but this is all we ended up with root ball wise. I can see they've trimmed off some flower blooms, so I'm gonna put that one, I think I'm gonna put it right here. And this is a pretty tough plant right here. I put these agavoides everywhere. They get full sun. They survive our winters. And they spread really well. You know, pretty soon you'll have a whole clump of them. Okay, I gotta get up for a second because this hurts my back. Oh, and I just stepped on a bunch of dirt. Okay. Let me see. I need some red. Let's see what I have that's red. I'll be right back. Okay. So here's what I found. We're over on the side. It's so weird how far it looks over here when it's really right in front of the camera. But, okay, so I got a bunch of the little stuff that I pulled, I believe, out of that big black pot. So I'm just gonna tuck them all. Whoops. The soil's pretty soft. They should just stick right in there. I want them to. Okay, let's get a couple here. And I cut them kind of long so I don't have to push real hard. You know, I can just kind of set them in there. And hopefully they will just take off. Okay, I need a couple more. That one, hold that one up. Let me see. Ooh, got a few more over here. Cool. Get all the spiders off of them. So we can stick that one down that way. We can stick this one down there. Get in there. And just kind of let it fall that way. Okay. I think I'm done. Yeah, that can stay just like this. And yeah, I think that looks good. I like those. Those will fill in. It'll take some time, but I did leave roots on quite a few of them. Those and those two are just cuttings, but everything else, you know, I should be able to just water in in a week or so, just lightly. That soil's pretty dry in there, so those cuttings should heal up pretty quickly. And I love the color on those. Yeah, I like that. Simple. And I forgot I was going to hang some of this Christmas cactus that's back in that terracotta pot. I can't see where I'm pointing. Where's my hand? Oh, that terracotta pot has a lot of, no, it's up here. Anyway, there's a Christmas cactus right there. There we are. Yeah, I can take some cuttings off of that. No, you know what I was going to do? Oh, I'm so stupid. I was going to take the two small ones I have in the house. Yeah. And I'm going to put them right here and let them hang over and see if they don't take off here. I'll put one kind of in the back and maybe one right here. Just let them do their thing. And I think that'll look good like that. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so let's pull the plants out of this one. And I'm kind of tucked into this little alcove here on the porch, so most of the breeze is missing me, unfortunately, because it feels, you know, when I'm standing in the sun, it feels hot. What does it say? It says it's 62 degrees. It feels closer to 80. But look at the wind is really blowing. Look at my trees up there. I don't know if you can see how much, but it's a nice breeze out here. Unfortunately, I'm not getting much of it. Okay, so I need to, first of all, I need to move these plants that I'm going to put in there so I don't step on them, because I could just see that's what's coming. Okay, so let me cut this. I think this is a ghost plant, and I think it's just really, I don't know, I'll have to look it up. Oh, this one was completely rotted. Look at that. It had rotted right off the end of its stem, fell over, and was growing back towards the sun. Succulents are amazing. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with those big Fred Ives, because they're used to being in the afternoon shade. And I'm probably just going to cut them off. The ones that I pulled out of that other pot. Look at this poor thing. Stem's completely rotted, but the plant has been trying to hang on. But I bet you if I cut that and hardened it up and started watering it, it would probably take off and grow. I'm not going to bother. It's not really worth saving. So I've got 3 blue elf, aloe blue elf in here. Oh, what's this? Let me pull this out first. This looks kind of interesting. Oh, you know what that is? Those were my variegated, it's a tiger jaw. I remember putting that in here. And I tucked it back here so it'd be in the shade, and it's still alive. I'll probably pot it up in a small pot and just take care of it. Take better care of it. Okay, I'm trying to do this without all that spilling out of the side. I should just, I'm just gonna cut those blue elf. Oh, nippers are right here. This would be easier. Just cut them way down here. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm not going to probably put them back in this pot. Alrighty. Now, get these little guys out of here. I'm making a mess. Okay. I think they're working on the trees that grow down along the roads. They're big trucks. Okay, so this is aloe distans, and it looks like it's about dead. I'm going to cut that off. I don't know, I might try to save that top part. This one's okay. It's pretty stressed, but I think if I get it out of here and cut it, maybe I can even save the roots. Yeah, this one's still okay. It's got a lot of nice new growth down in the middle. Alrighty. Now, if I had more room, I'd have another chair, put my camera. This tripod is so short, I have to have it up on something. I could probably set it. There's a cactus right there, but if I set it like that, it is in the full sun, but maybe I can just leave it, oops, right there, and sit here. Oh yeah, okay, that's better. Whew. So much better on my back. And give me my bucket here to put the scraggly little pieces of plant in. So let's try and get these roots out of here carefully. And then, so this one, I redid this, I think in the fall. And it looked really cute, but it just got too hot and I just didn't protect it. I didn't cover it, which I should have. And if I had done that, I wouldn't have to do anything to it right now. So I am going to, for sure this year, make sure all the pots that have, stuff that needs to be protected, shade screen on them in the afternoon when it's hot. And it's really easy, because I'm retired, so I'm home most of the time. And it's really easy for me to just come out here around, I don't know, 10:30, 11 when it starts getting hot, and just walk around with my little pile of, I cut the shade cloth into squares and just walk around and throw them over the tops of the pots. Doesn't take me a couple minutes. And then, you know, once the sun's over around 3 o'clock, come pull them back out so the plants get plenty of fresh air and bright light. And I tell you what, it makes a huge difference. Little inconvenience, but my plants definitely appreciated it the year before last when I did that every day. My pots looked so much better in the fall. And then the only reason I had to redo them was because they were overgrown and they just weren't looking good. But not because the plants were all dead and shriveled, which is the case now. So, okay, I don't need to take too much out of here because those plants really didn't grow, so I don't feel any roots down in here. Just a couple. This is from the aloe, I'm sure, because their roots grow fast. I mean, can you see that? They grow fast and long, and they will encircle the pot. So it's, I mean, even if your aloes are looking good, it's probably not a bad idea to pull them up a couple of times a year, trim the roots and stick them back in. And it's not going to hurt them. They don't seem to care. Yeah, I can feel that. It's just like one root winding around down in here. Here it is. It keeps breaking off. But I'm sure it's probably from the aloe blue elf. Okay. And a lot of this dead leaves and stuff just break down. It just adds nitrogen to the soil when these plants are breaking down like this. So I don't worry about getting every little bit out of there. Hi, Mr. Raider. You're trying to get out of the sun, buddy? Why don't you go in the garage? It's cool. All right, so that's good. Now, the fun part is figuring out what do we want to put in here. So we need something somewhat tall. Let's push this down a little bit, not too much, because it was still pretty full. I need something somewhat tall. In this pot, I might move it back a little bit. What to put in here that will stick up. Basically, the only thing I have that's really tall would be like an aloe. And it doesn't even have to be super tall, you know, just, and then some stuff around the front. Excuse me. And most of my pots, you know, you don't walk all the way around them, so I don't have to have a, you know, it doesn't have to be perfectly whatever, because you're only seeing them from the front and the sides. So I can put something tall in the back. But what, should I put a cactus? I don't really want to put a cactus in there because I don't water my cactus that much. I'm looking around. I could put that distance back, and then I have another one from that other pot. And I could put that propeller plant in here. I'll definitely have to keep shade over it though, because they've been in the shade. Let me see how that would look. I can, I just try not to get too much dirt in them. Did I stab myself? I got an owie. Okay, so here's a propeller plant. It is actually pretty tall. I can put that right in the back. Look how spider webs in here. Is that mealybug? There's mealybug in here, so I'm gonna have to spray this. And I don't have my bottle here. I'll have to try and remember to spray this with alcohol, get these mealybugs. Okay, so what I can do is put, ow, these are so sharp. Is I can put this like right here, and if I bury it, so this soil is still kind of damp. I did water pretty good. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. I want you to stand up. Stand up straight, as my mother used to tell us. I don't know how great that's going to look, but, and I am going to cut, so this distance is kind of, I can't see my phone screen at all. I'm hoping you can see this. It's kind of stretched a little bit. It should be more compact, but it was in the shade. So I'm going to cut these roots off of it because they're too big. What's that? And some of these dead leaves off the side. Some of the old stuff. I could probably pull it off, actually. Will they break off? I like to get all of that off of there, off that trunk. Okay, I'm going to leave the rest of this on here. And I'm going to put this one, can you still see? Okay, I'm going to put, and I'm going to move this one out of the way. I'm going to put this one, I think on this side. It doesn't have a real long stem, so it doesn't have to be too deep. I'm going to tuck it up there, move this guy out of the way, and he's going to have to figure out what to do with his own leaves because I want this close. I'm trying so hard not to push right into the sharp little points on here. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Like that. And what do I do with it? Okay, the other one. Raider Gator, what are you doing? You're just standing there staring at the wall? Huh? Oh. A lot of aloes, you can't break the old leaves off. They're so tough and they're sharp. And the agaves, especially, the agaves, you cannot do that. They don't want you to break their leaves off. They hold on to them. Okay, so this one doesn't look bad. It is a little stressed. Trying to clean, there's some, what is that? Is that a dead leaf? What is that down in there? I need my, it might have been an old flower bloom. Get it out of there. Okay. Just try to get all the dirt and stuff out of it. It actually doesn't look too bad. Where's the camera? It's a little stressed. You can see how it's a little bit red. But that's okay. And since that side's already red, I think I'll put that side over here. So we're gonna dig. This one's got a little bit longer of a stalk than the bigger one, surprisingly. Yeah, it's kind of nice when the soil's a little bit damp because it stays. So I'm going to tuck it in here. There. And what I might have to do is, look at the mealybug, is get some kind of a stake or something to put in here to hold the shade screen up. Otherwise it's just going to knock that plant over. It's not too heavy, but it's somewhat heavy. And that plant has been in the back of the planter, which got really early shade. Okay, now we can put some succulents in here. Okay, what do we got? We want to do some purple, but those are so small. I'm going to want those. Oh, God, you just scared the life out of me, Raider. Raider just walked up. I had my hand hanging down. He just walked up and touched my hand with his nose. Hi, baby. I know, you didn't want some attention, huh? It's my little love bug. My little love bug. Okay, so you know what I'm going to put? I think, no. I think I'm going to stick, I've got 4 of these Fred Ives I bought. These were like $2, and they're trying to get rid of them, I think, because they've been in these little pots for so long. And so, yeah, they were pretty cheap. So these will grow quite a bit bigger, and their stems will grow, so they'll reach up. So I think I can go ahead and put them over here next to this aloe. Is there dirt down in there? Yeah, I think I can do one of these on each side. I love the Fred Ives. So this in the sun, because these were at Home Depot in their shade, you know, out in the nursery, but covered with a big shade screen. And so they haven't seen any sunlight in a while. Otherwise they would have some nice color like my other ones do. You know, they get some red and mauve and, you know, whatever. Okay, so this one I'm gonna put this one here, right in between. I want to fill it in so I don't have to put any kind of top dressing on here. So get in there, tuck you up. I'm bending a few of the leaves, but I don't care because, you know, the new growth comes from the center anyway. Okay, now I'm going to put another one here. I have 4 of them. Do I want to use all 4 in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have a whole bunch of bigger ones. So what I'm doing is I'm thinking to myself, this pot here, it's a bit bigger, and I want to put some taller, bigger succulents because I still have this great big one that I bought. $4. These are like $10 at the Secret Garden. I got this at Home Depot. No, Green Acres. But look how big it is, just because it's outgrown its pot. And I've got another Lucier, and then just a couple other, a little bit larger. And then I'm going to put some of those right back in there. I'm going to pull out that dead Aluaudia and the Harmsii. It's not Harmsii. Up here we get Pulvinata. It looks just like the Harmsii ruby slippers, but it's not. And so I'll take out that Portulacaria. Okay. Okay, let's stick you way back tight in here. I just want to cram this full, as full as I can. It's harder when you're leaving the soil on like that because you can't get them as close together as you want them to be. What do I have over there? I have a bunch of ghosties, and those will make a nice color in the front. But let me put, so now I've got 2 little pearls. You know, I had the bigger ones I put in this other pot. And then I had these small ones too. And they're so, look at, you can see how, can you see, where are we? I cannot see my screen, the sun is so bright. I mean, it's really stretched. It should be nice and compact, but that's all right. So I'm gonna put one here. Right up there. And I'm going to put the other one here. I pick them up and they're so dry, they just fall right out of the little nursery pot that they're in. I think these ones were $2 also. I'm going to put this one right here. And normally they sell these little ones this size, but again, it's pretty stretched. They sell these for like $3.95, and they were all $2. So I grabbed a ton. Okay, nice. Now you really should, actually I shouldn't even say you should. I think it just depends on what you like. It's personal taste. But a lot of people like to mix the colors, you know, so they don't want like a clump of color here and a, you know, like that. And I see a lot of them doing that, but I kind of suck at that. And it seems like no matter how I do it, I ended up with all the green in one spot and all the, you know, whatever. But it's okay, I'm all right with that. Okay, I've got one more Fred Ives. You know, I think I'm going to stick him in here too. I think I'm going to stick him right in the front. So the ghosties that I put in here are going to go in as cuttings. I'm going to stick him right here. He'll fill in this little gap. There you go, Fred. Get in there. Yeah, these are really dry. I watered them in their tray a couple days ago, but they're in such small little pots. And you know, they have that, like they're grown in like a peat moss mixture. Oh, look at these stickers. You guys, can you see this? Where are we? Can't see my hand. These little corkscrew things. We get this. Here's a dry one. The cats get them in their hair, in their fur. Oh man, and they just get snarls, and then they get these big mats because they can't get that sticker out, and it just keeps twisting and twisting, and it just makes them crazy. So did I tell you my dogs had fleas? All 3 of them when they got groomed day before yesterday. So they've all been treated, and hopefully they'll be flea-free. But I'll probably go ahead and treat them each month through the summer. Okay, what else am I going to put in here? You know what? What do I have right here? Those are some aeoniums, but look at all the jelly beans. This is rubber-tinctum. I can just cut all those off. Why don't we do that? Why don't we set it right here? Oh, no, it's going to knock the camera out of the way. Can you still see? I need to see what that camera's pointing at, because with my luck, you haven't seen anything I've done in a while. Let me look at, where are we pointed? Oh no, it's still right there. Okay, that's good. The sun's shining right on the camera. I should probably give it a break pretty soon. But let me do this. Let's go. Dunt, dunt, dunt. Let's get a bunch of these. This pot's ready to have something nice in it anyway. Oh, goodness. Way down here. Oh, that's just a side shoot. That one's growing sideways. Ooh, look at this pretty green one. I really like the rubber-tinctum. Oh, it's so pretty and colorful. And when it's healthy and it's happy and it's not covered with mealybugs, which it seems to be prone to getting here, it looks so good. Let's get all the dirt off the pieces. Everything sticks to them. Okay, so we're just gonna tuck them in the soil over on this little side. I just want to make a clump so that it looks good. Get in there. And they have a pretty tough stem, so you can usually stuff them pretty far down in there without the stem breaking. Okay, look at that color on that. Can you see that one? I love them. I love them. Yeah, now I can use that little container for something else. And these will root up in here really quickly. A lot of them have roots. You know, they're sticking so far out of the soil, but look at, can you see the roots growing off of here? It cracks me up. I think the camera's over here. Mr. Raider Gator, what are you doing? Little man. Whoops, just knocked a jelly bean off of that one. Try not to touch, the leaves on these fall off really easily. So you kind of want to be careful. All right, and now I have here, oops, one little piece fell off and it was just laying sideways, growing sideways roots. I was gonna lay it down in the soil under here, see what happens. I got another little bowl of these, so that one I can set right there, and I can put all these in there as well. Dogs, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get out. Come on, you guys. What are you doing? Go. Go on. You can fit. Go. Come on. Go. Shoot. No? Go that way then. What? I know, you're cute. Don't you bite my plant, Spud. I'm watching you. Get in here. Really what I should be doing is using my little tweezers. You grab the stem with the tweezers down low and then just push it straight into the ground. But my tweezers are over on the table. I can't reach them. I just want to fill this whole, this whole little area in right here. Be careful not to stab myself. I'm reaching right up next to this cactus. Can you hear the wind blowing the palm tree? Ooh, it's breezy. Breezy, Raider, breezy. All right, oop, that's not even a, I got a couple things in here that aren't even the same thing. All right, do I have any more? Didn't I have some on the table, or did I put those in here already? Let me go look, because I wouldn't mind having a few more to fill this little gap in. Alrighty. Yeah, here's that big clump that was hanging over the side. So I got a lot more here. And they're a much brighter color there. So it'll be, you'll see a color difference. Get over there. Get in there. Keep popping the stems off, or the leaves off. So any of the leaves that fall down into there, chances are they'll just root and grow, you know, like any kind of a leaf cutting. If you propagate. If you know, you know. They do propagate really well. But I can't. I'm just trying to blow all the spider webs off of them. Okay, get that down in there. You get down in there. You down in there. Okay, good. That's cool. I like that. So those are pretty. And then I've got some room for my ghosties. Now, which ghosties? Okay, let me get this back up out of the way. So now I can pull the rest of those little plants out of there, since, you know, that's not worth keeping. And I can just cut off a nice rosette off of something and just grow it in a little pot, just so it would, just something that's cute. Make sure this is all loose, because I'm going to put these ghosties in here as cuttings. And that way I can just stick them down. Alrighty. What are you doing, Mr. Spudster? Huh? I know. I'm not playing with you today, huh? Okay, baby. I need to get... Don't scratch. Okay, hold on. I'm going to grab some ghosties from over here. Let's see, how many... Okay. So we got this. What is this? This looks like an Echeveria, Graptivaria maybe. It's heavy, and I just cut it off, but I'm going to put that here. And then I had another one just like it, and I think they were actually the same plant. I think this little one was just growing on the stem. So we're going to stick those in there. And then I've got a couple little, can you see the color on here? It's kind of pretty. That'll give it, let's put it up in here. These are cuttings. I don't need those leaves. These are pretty soft, so I don't know. Raider, don't eat that, please. Let's get that way down in there. Way down in there. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. They're sticking up a little. Oh, there's the mail truck. You guys better go get him. You better go get him. The mail guy likes the dogs. It's funny, and he'll stop, and when he's driving away from the driveway, he'll go really slow so he can talk to the dogs as they chase him along. Okay, I need a big one right there. Let me go see what's left over here. Okay, now what do I do with my nippers? Of course, I left them over here. Now, I've got one great big one. So this is going to go right in here. There. And now I got a couple little things to fill in these holes. And stick a little color here and there. This, I want to chop that stem. Get all these dead leaves. What is this guy? What are you? You know, it looks like a little tiny pearl. That might be a pearl von Nuremberg. Nuremberg. How about right here? Right in there. It's just probably sitting on the soil. It's probably not even sticking in it, but that's okay. There. I like that. So let's get back out of the way. Raider, what are you eating? Are you eating rocks? Spit that out. Oh my gosh, this dog is brain dead, I think. Okay. Now, this has the potential to be a pretty long video, I think. let me sweep this up a little bit back here. And I'll probably hit it with the blower again when I'm done. Get that out of the way. And at some point, I'm going to have to take this pot. I don't think you can see it from there, but I'll show you in a second. So it's got these euphorbias, 2 euphorbias and that podotorum. And give the podotorum that whole pot and put these euphorbias somewhere else. I don't know what's going on with this one. It's like the top is dying. I need to cut it off and let that heal, and maybe it'll produce a new arm. Oh, that was a mistake. I should have looked closer at it, because look at this. Oh God. You know what? I'm going to save this though and see what happens. I think it's going to die. It was actually putting out 2 new little. I'm going to save that. I don't know if that's enough of a, you know, but the top had died off and I'd been watching it, but it didn't look close enough. I'm going to save this. I got to put it somewhere. Now, look at that. That looks good, huh? Okay, so that looks pretty. That looks pretty. That's a cute dog. Mr. Spud. Spudster, what are you doing? Come here. Jump up here. Up. Up. You're so cute. That looks really pretty. I like that. And now I got to get back to that one to do that one. So I'm going to move this one back a little bit and then probably try to get in over on the side here. We'll see. We'll be right back. So I did end up moving a couple of pots out of the way. So the first thing I got to do is get these plants out of here. And I'm trying to find a spot where I can put you where you're going to be out of the way, but you're still going to be able to see. So, but I have to stand right here, so I might be blocking the view. So what I'm going to try and do is just pull this Portulacaria out first. I think it's right over here. And I kind of want to save it because I want to, God, it's so far down in here. I want to just put it somewhere else. You know, it's a nice, happy plant. Ugh. Come on, baby. Out you go. Ooh, nice, pretty soil. God, the roots on here are just going everywhere. See if I can just pull those out. Ugh, come on. Okay. This poor little etiolated thing. Alrighty, so yeah, it came out in one nice piece. And I could put it somewhere else and let it hang over as a little bit of a spiller because it's already spilling. So now, let me get this big, what is this? Is it a ghosty? Kind of looks like it. It's awfully big. Whew. This is falling apart. Okay, get this all out of here. Look at those roots. That's crazy. Okay. My aching back. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's get this. And then this. I'm very sad that my Aluaudia didn't survive. Because I love that plant, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem to like our area. Too cold in the winter, and I don't know, maybe a little too hot in the summer, unfortunately. I've already stolen most of the plants out of here for other projects. Oh, these are so sharp. Yeah, this was 4 separate pieces, whoops, that I got, no, get out of there, over at Poot's Nursery in a pot. And so I planted them up in here. And they did really well the first year. And they grew like, well, I don't know if you can see. Whoa, I can't hold it like that. They grew about 6 inches. That was where they were, if you can see that, and they grew up to here. So they did really good, and then they died off that next winter. They survived the first winter. It must not have been as cold. I don't know. I don't remember. But sadly, God, these plants have just fallen down into the crack here. Look at this. The plants down in here. Oh, is that a donkey tail? A lot of leaves broken off. Yeah, it's a little sedum, little burrow tail. We always called it donkey tail growing up. Oh, my back. My aching back. Okay, where's my bucket? Why don't I move that closer? Wouldn't that make more sense? Ouch. Then I can pull out the dead clumps of plant material that basically just have roots and no plant. Stir this up a little bit. Get a bunch of that detritus out of there. Some long roots. Hopefully there's no creatures living down in here. It's pretty damp down inside. And I can see, I can feel a lot of the stuff that I planted, I just planted. I didn't plant them as cuttings. I planted them with the soil that they came in, because I can feel how much peat moss is in here. And there's good cactus soil down here. Okay, that's probably good enough. Okay, we'll get this out of the way. We're going to fill that with some fresh soil, cactus soil. And I should have enough to finish that pot. Oh, my little container. Okay, there we go. Now, here's the tricky part. This, hey, stay off the table. He's jumping up. I know. Trying to get into my stuff. So now I got to decide what we want to plant in here. So I'm going to put the bigger plants. I need to push this down. And I'm probably going to plant most everything in here as cuttings. Look at how overgrown all this back here is. But it's pretty. All those aeoniums are coming out. I pulled about half of them out already. And I need to cut back all this stuff down in here, get those weeds out of there. The millia is looking just amazing. I love it. And the sticky is doing good. It bloomed. I know I still need to put that aloe. Can you not eat the flowers? Did you see that? He's eating the flowers off of that plant. He's probably licking the, they're all sticky with sap. They had aphids. That's probably what he's licking off of them. Get out of there. No. Go. Whoops. I need to take this out and put that aloe in the pig. I am going to get that done. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. So, okay. So here we have a nice clean pot. I love this. My friend Neil gave me this pot. It's about probably 14 inches tall, maybe a little bit taller. And I'd say 16 inches wide here. Actually, it's probably taller than that. It's probably 1.5 feet tall. Where is it? I don't know. I can't really. It's hard to judge from the side. It's pretty tall. But it's nice and fat and wide. Looks like it has a crack here. Yeah, it does. Oh, it's got one on this side too. Oh, it goes all the way down. So I'm not going to move it. I don't have to move it. But, okay, I know I'm procrastinating. I am really big at procrastinating. Can I sit that on the ground? Oh, I might be able to just sit that right there, huh? Can I move it over here? Zoom in a little bit. Tip you up a little. Yeah, and you can see right there. Cool, perfect. I'm going to leave you there. All right, what am I going to put in here? Do I want to start with that Aeonium Sunburst? Because it'll get tall. This plant gets a little shade in the afternoon. And I'm trying to think, does it get shade quicker? But it stays cool right here because of this vent. Cold air comes out. So, you know what? I think I'm going to put that Sunburst in here. And this will be my thriller. And what I'm going to do is, whoops, did I just kick you? You're still okay there? Okay. Is I'm going to leave it like this. Yeah, I'm going to plant it up. I guess I should have stuck it. Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do before I put all this dirt in. Yeah, so, okay, I need to get something to put this dirt back in now that I just put it all in there. So let me go find something. Okay. Look out. Okay. So I'm going to fill this up with dirt. So I have room to pull a bunch out. Because I want this Sunburst down pretty deep. All right, I need to take the soil. Do I want to take? I have room. You know what? I have room because this is just a skinny little stake here. I have room to just pull all that off of there. Oops. A little bit higher there. Oh. This is a, you know what? Do I have my? No, of course I don't. This was a bloom stalk on here that they cut off. Let's break that off because we don't need that on there. Oh, okay, there we go. There's that one. And I think I'll put the Lucier on the other side because it can get pretty big. And that way it'll have plenty of room. It's really floppy. Let's put that one right up against here. There we go. All right. So when this dries out, I'll blow all this stuff off of here. It's just sticking on there, making it look dirty. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, we got this pretty big. Get out of there. Ooh, this one's still pretty wet. Just want to get some of this stuff off the bottom of the plant and get some of these yucky, rotten, kind of slimy leaves off of it. Okay, here we go. How about this one go right here? Yeah. There we go. Pretty. Okay. You got one more. What is this? Is this a topsy-turvy? This looks like a topsy-turvy. None of the stuff was marked, like I said, labeled, so just kind of guessing at what you got. I mean, if you know, you know. Some of them are simple, but oh, this actually has a couple of stalks growing up on the sides. So let's put this one over here, because this, I've seen this plant absolutely massive. None of mine have ever made it big like that, and they usually end up dying on me for some reason. I don't know if it's our heat or what. But yeah, I've never really gotten one to grow, but I've seen them in nurseries, just absolutely massive. And I want that. Okay, let's put some more dirt in here. Let's go this way. Whoops. Not over the side. Spud, what are you eating, dude? Come on. And I think this actually would probably look nice hanging right here. It's been in here for a long time. But what if I just stick it right back in here? Right here. I might have to, actually I want it over here. I might have to put a rock on it to keep it from falling out. I don't know how deep I can get it because it's got a bend in it, you know, already. Yeah, I'll leave that there. I don't think it'll fall out. There's still some roots on it. I cut the long stuff off, but it just does still have some roots, so hopefully it'll grow good. Yeah, that'll make it look nice. Give it a little spiller. Okay, we need some big plants to fill this in. What else do I have? I used up all the ones I bought because I mainly bought them for that one middle pot. And then I had just these 4 left. Okay, so let me see. How about if we just, right now, can you see that? Look how high that is. I don't know if that's gonna look good. Why don't we steal a few of these right here? Oh, okay. Pull off some of these bottom leaves. So I got a bit of a stem. A couple more. Whoa, they're going everywhere. And then just poke it right down in there. Because I got to get rid of all this anyway. I wonder how these will do if I just make a little clump of these and just stick these. This is that pulvinata. Stick those down in there. They're so pretty. Once they take off, man, it's a beautiful plant. But I need to get them all. Out of this area. Or not all of them. I can't quite reach. Can I lean way over one, 2? And they're velvety. If you've never had this plant or grown it or whatever, it feels soft like velvet. Okay, here's 3 more pieces. We're going to stick way down in there. Stick in there. Stand up. When the soil, whoops, when the soil is so dry, it's hard to get them to brace the plants. Sometimes you just use other plants to do it. Sometimes you can put a rock or something in there. All right, what am I going to put over there? I need some more ghosties. Oh, that breeze feels good. It's such a beautiful day. And 80 degrees. Yeah, I'm all for that. Considering it was, God, 102, 2 or 3 days ago. Keep bumping you. Ooh, alrighty. So why don't we just kind of poke some of these around over in here. It just occurred to me what I should do is this one feels a little shrinked up like it needed some water, is just save all these leaves that I'm popping off of here and post them in my neighborhood groups if anybody wants them to do propagations, because I certainly don't need to do any more propagating. Ooh, look what I see down in there. That's kind of fun. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera every time I do this, but I got a whole bunch of sedum down in here. that is looking for sun. Oh, there's a couple more I can reach. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I can stick a few of these in here because these will grow tall and they'll stick up. And they're pretty tough. You can usually stick them in there without breaking them too much. They'll break a little bit if you push down on them. They might break, but as long as you're somewhat careful, you can usually pop them off. Stick them in here. Oh, broke one. You can hear them snap when they pop off. Get in there. Their stems are so thin and spindly though, so you can't really push too hard on them. You know, you can't. You try to stuff them in there and they don't want to stuff. All right, what else? What can I steal from the garden? You know what? I've got a bunch of blue atoll. Hold on a second. Okay, I forgot I had this big thing I pulled out of it. It's a little bit too big. It should be in the back. Let me cut these off. Oh, that was almost my finger. I don't want to do that. I'm going to cut this big one off. Okay. You don't need this whole chunk. God, there was a time when I would just take that whole rootstock, and we got mealybugs. I would take that whole rootstock and I would just stick it in dirt over on the side in my little garden of death and kind of let it grow back and get more plants, because I didn't have a lot of plants back then. It's so funny, and now I'm just like, oh, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Yeah, so you want these bigger ones towards the back. But I'm going to put a nice little flush of these right here. These were super stemmy, super leggy. Get in there, down in there. And then this one was like hanging off the side. I think I'm just going to lay this right here and just throw some dirt over that stem. Okay, now let's put these little ghosties right in here. And then I can put some more. Okay, was that all I pulled out? So now I can just kind of stick these along the edges if I want to. Fill in this little crack, she said. Okay. I need a few more of these, huh? Hopefully those will root themselves down in there because they're barely touching the soil, but the color's pretty. All right. So what do we want there? We want some more ghosties. What? Oh, what do I have? You know what would be good is like a lace aloe. I have a big clump. Maybe I'll go snag a piece off of it. I'll be right back. Okay, I found this. This was completely rotted off. It was laying underneath a whole bunch of other plants sticking out, looking amazing, so it could find the sun, but the stem is totally dead in the back. So we're going to cut it off right there. And I think this was, God, what was the name of this one? I believe it was an Agavoides. It had a specific name. Stand it up a little bit though. There, so get a little more soil up under the front here. Push that up. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. I like that dark green in the middle there. All right, now I wish I had some bigger of that firestorm. Hold on, I'm gonna go see. I want some red. Hold on. So I decided on, instead of going and hunting down some red, these Fred Ives that are kind of a mauve purple. Yeah, so let me lay those up there, and I'm gonna have to kind of dig a hole because the stalk on these is really kind of long, but I want them to stick up a little bit. I don't want them all the way down into the soil, way down deep. Because I'll let them, I think 2 more. And if I put 1 here, one more there. A little handful of dirt right in there. A little more. Okay, hold on. Let me go grab one more. I had 2 more. I might as well just use them all, right? And this one here was beginning to flower, just like that one there. Get in there. Okay. And then this last one, I'll tuck it under. There. There. Big old piece of perlite or pumice, whatever that is. Okay, there. I like that. Yeah, that looks good. Now these back ones will grow up. They'll grow taller. And those Fred Ives will also start growing up. But then they'll tip over and hang over the edge. So they seem to like to get stemmy and hang over. So I'll bring you right back. Hold on. Okay, so we're all finished. And this is the pile of plants that are left. So I missed a Fred Ives. I did have one more on the stalk. But the Sansevieria was in here. I'll probably pot that up and take it in the house. There's a whole clump of, really nice plants left in here that I can put as cuttings, and I can tuck them into the pots or do whatever. You just think you're so cute, don't you? Brainy. You're such a little love bug. I know, babies. Oh, everybody else is jealous. Everybody's jealous. Go boys. So let's go and, hello, Mr. Raider. Take a look at how it turned out. I am really happy with my pots. I like them. And I think they'll be able to stay like that for quite a while, as long as I remember to keep them covered. Like today I don't need to. It's not going to be that hot today. I mean, by the time it hits 80 degrees, the sun will be over the back of the house. So I think I'm just going to leave everything open today and let them breathe. But is that color showing up on camera? Look how pretty that is. I love the purple. And the sun will really bring out those colors. Yeah, so I put this back. These guys will get in the shade, these little hybrid aloes. I don't know when I'll get around to putting the Christmas cactus in here. But I did stick this little donkey tail right here on the side. And it'll hang over. Maybe I'll just leave that there. Maybe I'll add a little bit more, because that'd be a good spiller. And the roots don't seem to get too much. And I have a few pieces. I have another piece, a different one over here. I could tuck that one on there too. And then I did stick some of my aeoniums over here out of the sun, because they're going to go dormant. So and I put that big rock back in there just to get it off the table. I like that. That looks good. Those attenuatas, those can stay in there for a long time. Yeah, this is so pretty. Try to block the sun. I just don't know if that color comes out. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? That deep purple. Okay, now this one I like. It's got some smaller plants in it. Looks really good, all nice and tucked in and full. And that propeller plant, it probably will want some shade though later. And then this one really looks good. I like that. I just wish I had put that sunburst just a bit lower. I just think it's a little bit, I'm trying to block it with my shadow. Those plants I think will all take off in there. Yeah, I like that. So I think everything looks really good. My bowl's looking amazing. And then, you know, if you get back, I don't want to back up and step on anything. That looks so much better. Now it looks like somebody actually cares about their plants. And it's not just an overgrown mess. Oh, Raider. Yeah, I'm happy. This is done. Maybe tomorrow I'll come out and I'll pull out. That's rooted in the ground. I can tell by the green growth, this aloe. I can tell that's rooted. It's grown in there. So I can pull this out, put that in there. That'll look good. And I don't know, maybe I'll just put that Straussii in the ground right there because it's just going to grow straight up. And I could mound some dirt, make it a little bit higher. That might look good. But I love how this stuff is all really filled in. These were all just scraggly little cuttings that were so infested with mealybugs that a friend of mine gave me. And there was like one or two under his legs and then a little clump back there, and it's just grown and filled out. I got an agavoides in there, Pearl von Nuremberg. What is this, little echeveria of some sort? This is probably like a graptovaria or graptosedum, graptopetalum. I don't know what kind that is. It's a big thick one. And then back here we got this little clump. So pretty. Yeah, so everything's done. I'm happy. It's about 10:45, so that didn't take very long. And I stopped a couple of times in between to hunt down plants and everything. And I got it all swept and cleaned up and took the blower behind the corners, got it all cleaned out. So I'm gonna go in and sit on the couch, and I might have another mimosa. I had a mimosa yesterday. It was so good. Maybe I'll make myself a mimosa. God, I can't get over the color on this one. Look at that. So that's in the full sun. It's kind of washed out, but when you get that sun off of it and you can really see the colors. You know what I'll do? I'll come out tonight when the sun's over the back and I'll take a quick video and just post it as a short, and you can see how it looks to like me, you know, what I see in person. Okay, so now it is about 4:30, I think, 4:30, and you can see there's where the shade starts. So everything's in the shade now, and the sun is over there. But now you can see the colors of this. Look at how pretty that is. I love how this turned out. I love that purple. And then this one looks really nice. I do need to pick all the grass out of this. And that one down there too. Maybe I'll add some more top dressing to this one and a couple more little plants in there. It's looking a little bit tired. And then these look really nice. Look how pretty that looks. All the different colors. And here's the last one. I think that sunburst is going to bug me sticking up so high, but that's all right. I can just deal with it. But this little one that was already in the shade, that'll be protected a little bit back there. Kind of tucked under, but these will all grow and fill in and just look amazing for hopefully quite a while. Yeah, I really love it. I think this is my favorite one. And just the bottom of it. Look at that. Oh, so cool. But, oh, so much better, especially that one. I need to clean all those up. Maybe I'll do those this evening. I don't know. We're going to have a few nice days, so now's the time to get this done before it gets hot. Yeah. All right. Well, if you're still watching, thank you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Help my channel grow. My channel's pretty small. I really want it to grow. And I'll see you next time. I'll give you one last look at this because I just can't get over it. So pretty. Try to block that sun. There we go.